Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Come on in the room for the conversation.
Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon, or not good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to all. What did you title the video?
Stephen Twitch Boss, and I pray that I said his name correctly. Dead at 40, unfortunately.
Okay. So before we get deep into the conversation, let me say this. I feel like I'm kind of out of the shot. Let me say this. Let me introduce myself, and you can introduce yourself.
Okay.
My name is Candy Sincerity Johnson.
And I am Sean Johnson.
And together, what we typically do is we take topics that everybody's talking about, things that are trending, and we look at them from a different lens. We extract those things to say, hey, what are the takeaways? What are the lessons that we can learn? What's a different perspective? Just to have conversation so that we just don't keep watching life happen to other people and not extract those learning opportunities from those things.
Right.
So we take those trending topics, and that is essentially why we're here on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So there was something that happened, something that is breaking the internet on today that we felt was conversation worthy. And we wanted to look at it from a very high level perspective.
Yes.
Okay. What was that happened?
So unfortunately, it was shared on the news and internet wide that Twitch, as he was affectionately called, was found dead yesterday at the age of 40.
Mm-hmm.
He unfortunately, it was reported by the LA County Examiner's Office that he took his own life.
Okay.
He was found in a hotel in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, it's now being reported. It actually happened on yesterday, but it was being reported on today. For those that may not know who he is, most people, he's most notably known for being the DJ on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Okay. However, he had a history on the show, So You Think You Can Dance. He's also did some acting before, so he was in movies in the Step Up franchise, etc. So he has an extensive resume when it comes to entertainment, dancing, acting, etc.
Okay.
So that's who he is for those that may not know who he is. Sadly, he lives behind a wife and 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them were biological. One of them was his stepdaughter, but that's neither here nor there. It was his child. Okay. So that was, he leaves behind 3 children, ages 14, 6, and 3. And it was reported, at least it was the wife who stated that he had left from the home without his car, which was very unusual. She's like, that's not something that he typically does. And then he left the home, and then the hotel that he was at received a call of a shooting or gunshots. And then they found him in his room, and that was what was found. So that is what was reported today. And it's very sad because they had just recently celebrated their 9th wedding year anniversary this past Saturday. So it was right after that. And we're going into we're in the holiday season as well. So it's just very, very, very sad that this was reported on today.
Okay. So that's essentially our synopsis of what we know now.
Yes.
What we now know has taken place.
Mm-hmm.
So, your experience was that, this was the first thing that you saw this morning when you opened your phone.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first thing that you saw when you opened your phone. What was your reaction?
So initially, like literally, this is how I start my day most days. I turn my little alarm off. I get up. I get ready, say my little prayers, whatever I do. And then it's natural. I just go to notifications because I get notifications all throughout the night as far as social media is concerned. So as soon as I opened up my Facebook app, that was the very first thing on my timeline. Mm-hmm. It was shared by another social media influencer who reports things. And that was the very first thing that I saw. And it took me aback because I know who he was. Like, I didn't watch the Ellen DeGeneres Show like religiously, but I knew exactly who he was. And it was just very, very sad because the first thing that popped out of the headline was his age, which he was young. And then the manner of death. Mm-hmm. And that was the first thing that just struck me. And I just immediately was like, my heart just immediately bled for, the family.
So one of the things let me start here. I didn't see the headlines. I didn't see any of this You guys have seen it in your timeline all day. Normally, I'm Johnny on the spot when it comes to something that happens. I'm like, oh my goodness, or whatever. But I had so many different things that were going on throughout the course of the day. I had been on social media, but I somehow missed this whole story up until late afternoon going into the evening, which is very unlike me, right? So when I seen it, my mind instantly went back to several conversations that I've been having with people over the past 6 to 12 months. Y'all ready for it? I don't know why. Ever since I was a little girl, God downloads certain things to me. He speaks to me in ways that I have never been able to understand. I don't question it. I just get certain messages. If it pertains to a specific person, I'll have that conversation. If it pertains to the masses, I'll deliver the message, right? I've stated it on this platform before. I have had the conversation with Sean. I've told my best friend. I said, I quote, there is a spirit of suicide that is running rampant throughout the nation, throughout the world right now. I don't know, ever since COVID, there have been people that have been dealing with so many different things. I don't think COVID is the cause of it, but I think it's an adjutant of what is going on in the spiritual realm, right? There are a lot of people that are walking around in complete and utter pain, that are hiding in plain sight, that are contemplating whether or not from moment to moment, whether they want to continue this journey called life. There are a lot of people every single day, every single hour, every single minute making the decision as to if they want to continue this thing or not. Some of those people you know, some of those people you do not know. Some of these people are famous, some of these people, whatever. It's people from all walks of life, all different cultures, all different religious beliefs, etc. Why was that downloaded to me? I kept seeing it just increase and increase and increase. And so when it happened, when I started to have these dreams, I felt really heavy when I woke up. And I asked God, why are you showing me this? Within days, I told you guys on this platform about my best friend, one of my best friends, not Ariel, not the best friend that you guys have met and talked to, etc., but another one of my very close friends who's not really on social media like that, who made an attempt on her life, right? We had this conversation here on this platform. I told you that when she left her home with her wife and her children, she went to a hotel and was found in a hotel. I told you the story, right? Luckily for her, she survived. So when I heard this story, I'm sure this was a trigger for her hearing it, because it certainly was a trigger for me hearing it. But I have to say, I'm grateful because my friend has another opportunity at life. But this story is very important for several reasons. I don't believe things happen and we witness things in life just to spectate and say, oh, that's so sad. I'm going to pray for the family and then I'm going to close my phone and continue with my life. I'm a firm believer, whether you believe in God or otherwise, the universe will reveal things to you because there's something that you're supposed to be learning from that particular situation. Now, you may or may not have ever considered taking your life or ending your life. Maybe you have, maybe you have not. But we live in a world where people, we don't consider others the way that we should. We don't consider how our words and how our actions impact other people. And so perhaps if there's no other takeaway from this story, it's that we should be more responsible with our words and how we treat each other.
Absolutely.
Because your tongue could be the difference between somebody's life and somebody's death. You understand what I'm saying? And so, y'all, my blunt is coming down. I'm not trying to be tacky, but I got to keep on with the show. So with all of that being said, I must say this. Twitch is gone. He's gone. I pray for him. I pray that he now has comfort in the arms of God. I pray that his last moments were not filled with pain, physically, mentally, whatever, right? But I'm heavy right now because I feel a strong pain. I feel a strong pain coming from that family. So now what I feel like has happened, and I'm going to use this card. This card right here is sitting on the table. What I feel like sometimes happens is sometimes we're going through problems as human beings. And it speaks to this situation and other situations. Sometimes that problem becomes too heavy, and we as human beings feel like we don't have the tools, the resources, the bandwidth, the muscle to continue to carry this problem on our shoulders. So then what we decide that we want to do, which is a very logical thing that a lot of people contemplate, is we want to look for any way possible to drop that problem, to let go of that problem, to release that problem, to release that burden, to be free, to no longer be a burden to other people, which is if you ever talk to somebody who's ever survived suicide, that's the common denominator. Many people feel like they have been a burden to other people. And so they sometimes feel like the best thing they can do is release you, right? But what happens in situations like this, guys, is sometimes what we do without even attempting to do it, without ever wanting to hurt anybody else, is we take that problem and we light that problem on fire. We strike a match to that problem. And then that problem is passed along to other people. We don't attempt to pass it along to other people, but then now you have this fire, this huge mountain of fire, this huge thing that people are almost like playing hot potato with, and we're passing it, right? So now whatever was going on with him that we as a world, as a society couldn't heal, we couldn't help, is now being passed to his wife and his kids. So the best thing that we can do is advocate for them and rally our arms around them. Because we make the biggest mistake in society by putting all these RIP posts up, and that's good. That's wonderful. Honor his memory. Remember the good times, all of these things. But we can never forget. We can never forget that the people who really, really need the support is the wife and the kids. Because no matter what message the kids hear, they're going to somehow, some way in their 3 and 6 and 14-year-old minds think that it's their fault or they could have did something different. And that's a big, heavy load to carry, y'all. That's a heavy load to carry. For that wife to be laying next to him every day and have to play in her mind, what could I have done? What could I have said? How could I have done anything different? I love this man, right? She's thinking these thoughts. She's got to live with that for the rest of her life. And there's nothing that we can do about that. And so this video for me, after working through those issues or those challenges with my friend and her family, this video for me and for many of you guys, it's going to be personal. It's not just another headline. It's not just another story. It's an opportunity for us to now show up for people that we otherwise may have missed the mark on. I don't know. What you got?
Yeah, I agree. So for me, it's one of those things where, like you said, we do not know. We may never know. And to be quite honest, it's not really our business to know the reason behind it. That's the why, the what ifs, by him being a celebrity and being in the spotlight, it probably will come out. Maybe some more information will come out because, he was a public figure in so many words. However, like Candy said, whatever he was dealing with now has put a very difficult path in front of the family. This just happened after their wedding anniversary. So now every time the wife has to remember the wedding anniversary, this is what she has to think of. The kids have to realize they're 11 days away from Christmas. So now every time Christmas comes around, this is what they're going to be thinking about. And so it's just very, very difficult. It's very sad. But my major thing is for somebody that may come across this video, somebody that may be watching or listening right now, if you pay attention to people around you, pay attention to the things that people say, pay attention to differences in behavior, because sometimes it's a blatant thing. Sometimes it's a blatant outcry, but sometimes it's not. We don't know if there was a blatant outcry. I think people are now trying to go back through and look through old posts on his social media and try to see was there something that we missed? Could have been, could not have been. But I think the biggest thing is to really take heed and pay attention to those people around you. Is it a coworker? Is it a family member? Is it a spouse? Is it a partner? Whoever it is, pay attention to what they're saying. Pay attention to their behaviors. Pay attention to those things, because sometimes they can be crying out for help and it may not be a blatant cry out. Mm. And sometimes you just have to pay attention to signs or clues or what have you. That's one thing. Second thing, if you're on the other side of the token, perhaps you're on the other side of the token. And what do I mean by that? What if you're the person contemplating this? Speak to them. Think about the young lady that was on your video when you were in the truck that you showed me the screenshot of. Yeah. Perhaps you might be the person thinking about that.
Do you want to share that? What was said under the video? So we were doing another video?
We were doing another video. I can't even remember the topic at this point, but you were doing another video. You were in your truck and you were speaking and you were giving encouragement and stuff like that. And there was a young lady that was in your comments that said, "I'm so grateful to you because I was dealing with or wrestling with the thoughts of suicide myself." Mm-hmm. So if you are one of those individuals, I just want you to hear what's being said. And like Candy said, think about the people around you. Think about the people that love you. Think about the people that you will be leaving behind if you left. Think about that. And I pray and I hope that if somebody comes across this story, this video, what have you, I hope and pray that this will be the something. Maybe we say something that encourages you to be like, you know what, there's got to be another way. Mm-hmm. It may not seem like there's another way. This may seem like the best option, but there's got to be another way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Eugenia, for the stars. Thank you very, very much for the stars. Yeah, so for me, I think what happens is sometimes in life we go through things. We've all been through things where it feels like you're standing in the middle of a physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional storm. And it seems like everybody around you is on a sunny beach drinking umbrella drinks. And you sitting there like, what did I do? Like, I cannot. Every time I take 3 steps forward, I get drugged 5 steps back. And I'm doing everything to keep my head above water. And I just can't get out of this thing, right? And so sometimes it does feel like if I just remove me from the scenario, that everything, it'll just be, the whole situation will be much better for everybody else. But I have to tell you, all you have to do is just win the second. Mm-hmm. We used to have this saying when I was in sales. The saying was win the day. The day is too big. Mm-hmm. We're not worried about the day. Win this second. Then once you conquer this second, let's work on the next minute. Then let's work up to the next hour. And then we'll win the day. And then we'll keep going. But no matter what you're going through, no matter where you are in your life, there's more that God has for you. God has so much more for you. And you don't know it because you're looking at your situation for what it is today. But I promise you, and I'm not in any way, shape, form, or fashion trying to minimize or reduce what anybody is experiencing. Right. Because your experience is just that. It's your experience. And if it does feel like it's too much to carry, you are 100% right. And it's probably too much to carry. But nobody's expecting you to carry it by yourself. The only way people can step up and show up for you and be there for you is if you tell people what the problem is and how you need help. Sometimes what will help is just communication. That's not going to solve every situation. Everything is on a case-by-case basis. But I promise you, if you just open your mouth, you will find somebody somewhere who's willing to listen and help you. But yeah, it's heavy. It's hard. This is not an easy topic.
Right.
It's not an easy topic to cover, but it's a very necessary topic to cover, because my goal, and this is my prayer, when you walk away from this video, I want you to know two things. Number one, we have the utmost respect for tWitch and his family. We pray for him. We love them. We support. We send nothing but positive energy. That's number one. Make no mistake about it. But number two, this video is dedicated to his wife and to his kids. And I sit in the seat advocating for the people who are begging you. If you're working through anything, if you're contemplating suicide, whoever's going through, I'm advocating for the wife and for the kids, saying you're going to leave behind somebody who love you and who's better off with you than without you. And the only way you will see and know that I'm telling the truth is if you hear to witness it for yourself. I'm just advocating for the family. I'm advocating for the wife. I'm advocating for the kids. I'm advocating for the people who don't even know that you're dealing with this and going through. I'm just showing up for them. And I know this is the kind of video where it's not popular, right? It's not popular to say, what about the wife and kids? Because a lot of people get mad when you have them conversations. But I'm showing up, and I'm willing to take whatever comes to say, let's just stop for a minute, y'all. Let's just stop for a minute, America. Let's just rally around and show love, unconditional love to this wife and kids, because we have no idea the battles that they're about to fight. Even after the funeral service, after the flowers, after the calls, after all of this, they have to figure out what normal now looks like that's no longer normal. And that hurts. That's why I said this is personal. This is personal. But this is a public service announcement. This is a battle cry. This is an absolute battle cry. This has nothing to do with this page, our numbers, our businesses, nothing. We haven't even mentioned our businesses. But I want each and every person who comes across this video to hit that like button and hit that share button. Because what that does is that tells social media that you like this content and that we want the world to see it. Because this is the message for this particular topic. This is the part of the conversation that the news outlets and everybody else is missing. Because we live in a society where everybody wants to toe this specific line. Everybody wants to be correct, and nobody wants to say anything because they're fearful of how their words will land, yeah. Right? But we have to get back to the point where we can have real conversations. And the only way that healing can take place is if we have real hard conversations. Those conversations might include tears. But those conversations have to unlock doors that were not previously open. And when we knock down those barriers, then that's what saves lives. I'm a firm believer. Those tough conversations is what's going to save thousands of other lives. We don't have to keep going here, you guys. But people are hurting. And I wish I didn't still have this heaviness, this spiritual heaviness. And I don't say this to cause fear or anything like that. The spirit of suicide is not at rest. It's just getting started. Which means We have to check on everybody. Everybody. We have to check on everybody. We have to go out of our way to be kind to everybody. We have to watch what we say and be responsible with our words with everybody. That's all I got. That's all I got, y'all. That's all I got.
So one thing I want to end this with was there was a quote that was pulled from Twitch's Instagram account. And I'm going to say this, and then if you want to close this out or however you want to do it.
Yeah.
He said, people don't fake being sad. They fake being okay.
You say that again. Somebody missed it.
People don't fake being sad. They fake being okay.
So the question is, who's faking being okay? Who's faking being okay? Who's really not okay? We're going to end the video there. I will say this. We say it with every video that we do, but it hits different today. Every video ends the same. We tell you that we love you, and we tell you, because we believe it, that the absolute best is yet to come. But baby, we all got work to do. We love you guys. Have a good night.